Hi, Pastor Johnson here, over in the sanctuary at Shepherd of the Woods Lutheran Church. I would expect that most of you would be able to remember when you were seated in one of these pews where you like to worship from. And what I'm glad that you did was to open up the video, and I hope you'll join with me for a few minutes to reflect on the Lenten disciplines. The Lenten season begins on Wednesday, and you know and I know that if we begin from the beginning, we're more likely to participate in these disciplines. If you're at the Lakeshore, similarly, we hope that you will participate in the Lenten disciplines as well. The question is, what might we do in the Lenten season that helps us to grow spiritually as a disciple of Christ? Well, worship is the center of our lives, giving thanks to God for the gift of Christ. And so you might decide that you're going to commit to coming to worship every Sunday during the season of Lent. That would be 6 Sunday mornings, and to reflect on the Word with the other disciples here. Ash Wednesday begins the season, and it's this Wednesday, and there are services at noon and 6:30 here, 6 p.m. down at the Lakeshore. I hope that you might be able to come, begin the season well, receive perhaps the imposition of ashes. Following that, in the next 5 weeks, we will be doing midweek Lenten services. They will be at noon here at Southside and also at 6:30. There is a Lenten meal, soup and salad, on Wednesday nights at 5:30. We hope that you'll let the chef know you're coming. At 6 o'clock, we invite you to gather around the Word with the Gospel of John. Instead of reading 10 verses and preaching and having that as our regular practice in worship, to prepare our hearts, we're going to read about 4 chapters of John per Wednesday night for the 21 chapters. So I invite you to come along, commit to that. It'll be at 11:30 on Wednesdays, just before the noon service, and at 6 o'clock here at Southside. You might also go to bed a little bit earlier and get up 15 minutes early and begin your day with prayer. We ought to pray without ceasing. How that prayer will fill our lives begins by a conscious decision to begin the day that way, and praise the Lord throughout the day as well. So worship is an important part of what we do, but we also know that it's sacrifice. Journey with me as we go and look at a different place in the church. I will assume that it has been here so long that you may not have recognized it or identified it, but over my left shoulder and the shoulder of the readers is the crucifix, reminding us of the sacrifice of Christ. So in the Lenten season, we spend time giving something up as a way to kind of identify with Christ who gave up his life for us. One of the ways the men might do that is by not shaving. I'm going to give up shaving. It really does feel better to be shaved than unshaven. And then each day as the beard grows and comes in white or whatever other color for the men, a reminder that we are dust, and to dust we shall return. We would shave that off on Holy Saturday or Easter morning. For the ladies, we really thought about asking you to not shave your legs, but thought that was a little too personal, but suggesting instead that you might, if you do your nails and do them in some color, leave one nail undone as a reminder for you that it is the Lenten season. It would be a little different. Someone may say, oh, we didn't have time to do all 10 nails, and you can say, no, it's a season of Lent. Our church does this reminder for us, and they're likely to say, Lent? What's Lent? And it's an opportunity for you to talk about that sacrifice of Christ and what the disciples of Christ do. And so it is a way for you to be a witness even in the midst of this. You might also give up a particular food. This is not a diet plan. It's not when you're trying to lose 5 pounds. It's a way of changing the automatic action. If you normally have dessert cookies after dinner at night, perhaps you will sacrifice that as a part of your self-discipline. by, instead of doing what's automatic, like responding with anger to somebody who's angry to you, you have the self-discipline. You can think about the lack of cookie and your care for them. So you might also sacrifice something you do regularly, like a Starbucks. I get only the coffee there, but a venti is $2.50. Do that for the 40 days of Lent. Take that and donate it to a particular cause at church. We know that the church gathers for worship, but also centers around the Word and the sacrament. And that is, well, according to Luther, where the church exists. So journey with me to the pulpit. I do spend a fair amount of time here, and I will assume that you have seen the gospel book that is in front of the pulpit. It is placed there intentionally. I know of no other church that has that there, but we do. Instead of a colored parament, we place that book with Christ at the center and the four gospel authors, and it is an opportunity to remind the preacher and the hearers that what's said here needs to be that Word of God. And so, during Lent, perhaps you will, if you're already getting Faith Matters, read them and spend 5 minutes meditating afterwards, not just checking it off your list of things to do today, but meditating on the Word. If you are not a regular user of Faith Matters, perhaps you will sign up and do that. Another thing you might do, some people really enjoy gathering in fellowship in homes, and we will help you set up a Bible study for home reflection, a weekly group that perhaps meets for fellowship and reflection on the Word. You might start your own or join if there is another one that's been started. Another way to reflect on the Word would be to consider how the Word has impacted or failed to impact your day. So you might, for 46 days, have a journal. And before you go to bed at night, reflect on how that life as a disciple of Christ was lived out by you. And it's part of our Lenten discipline to try to grow in that witness. Because we know, another journey, if you would with me, please, that there will be a day when we do not have the opportunity to offer further service here on earth to the Lord. And so the columbarium, just off my left shoulder, contains the cremains of some of our members and may contain ours one day. That is not the saddest thing for us, because we know that in that is the gate to eternal life. But the witness that we have as disciples of Christ is in ministry. And so the columbarium is where we may end our ministry, but where we began is with the baptismal font. It is placed intentionally at the entrance to the church. There's water in it, and some of the disciples will touch the water as they enter or leave church. But it is a reminder that we entered the church through baptism. And so we are looking for a way to go into the world as baptized disciples of Christ, marked with the cross of Christ forever, bearing the light of Christ. And so we'll be leaving after worship this next week or on Ash Wednesday, even then in silence, to go out and speak the good news. So we are going to be busy serving the Lord, taking that, and you might look at worship service opportunities in the bulletin, or take on one particular role in church worship that you did not have before. And so you might be a reader or an usher or a greeter or a counter. So Lent is upon us, the 40 days of Lent plus the 6 Sundays. I pray that it will be a joyous time for you to grow in faith and in service to the Lord. Hope to see you Wednesday.